to MTVu Campus Evasion. I am Katrina and I am backstage here at Kean University's Homecoming Concert, awaiting the arrival for the woman of the night, DJ of the night, #1 female DJ, DJ Diamond Kutz. For those who do not know her, you need to Google her ASAP. She's here to talk about how she became affiliated with Dove. We're going to talk about all the mixtapes that she's been featured on, including her second mixtape coming out, set to be released November 11th, entitled HerStory in the Making. So I advise you to just sit back, relax, and maybe she has words of wisdom for you.
Sometimes I can look at a crowd and say, okay, they might like this type of music. And so, sometimes you're wrong, you can't always be right. But you'll play a few records and you get the reaction. If the reaction is not what you thought it was going to be, bring it on back, try something else. And and sometimes when you don't really know, what particular record to play, it becomes a guessing game. Like I said, you drop this record, let it rock for a minute. You always gotta have a backup record though. Yeah. You when you got a record and you're like, well, let me test this out on the crowd. You have to have that backup record so you can pull that other record back in 30 seconds and get it out there. But
How do you compare DJing now compared to back then? What's the difference for those who do not know about DJing?
Oh, that's the aspect. Well, for me, when I came into DJing, it is kind of like how it is now with Serato. That's a program a lot of DJs use, where it allows you to play MP3s versus the actual vinyls. When I first started DJing, I think I was only spinning with records for maybe a year, so I only had a little taste of carrying record crates to the club and things like that. But when I got into it, most of my career has been on Serato, so it's kind of the same now. The mixtape game is different though. Back 6 years ago, DJs were selling mixtapes on the streets, and it was like a hustle. Now it totally flipped. Like the law is like really cracking down on it. So now we have to, give them out for free, and they can't charge people for mixtapes anymore. And it's changed for the artists as well, because the artists aren't, they can't just throw out mixtapes anymore and sell them. So they're doing like all original music, and it changed a lot. It's kind of good because it's bringing things back to the essence of mixtapes and things like that.
Okay, talking about mixtapes. Now I know when you first started, every week you was throwing out mixtapes. Now you are featured on mixtapes.
Right.
I mean, Hood Sadiddy.
Okay.
What's another one? Joker. Okay. R&B 14.
This is crazy. I'm saying I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
Yeah.
So many more. Now you have your own Get It Poppin'.
Yeah. I put out the mixtape Get It Poppin', like you said, last year I think it was. Maybe later, or maybe 2 years ago. But it's all in Philly and even parts of Jersey. We play club music and Baltimore music, whatever you want to call it. But and I put a whole mixtape out with that. That's like my specialty in Philly. Everybody knows Diamond plays club music. That's what I do. So I did a whole club mixtape. But I have a new mixtape coming out with HerStory in the Making. I have a record out right now with Travis Porter. I hope you guys will play it.
Freaky?
Yeah, Freak. Yes. Yeah. So that's one of my personal favorites. I actually produced that record, so I'm gonna get into some more producing this year. But I have a lot of people on the mixtape, from Nikki to Meek Mills, who's coming from Philly, who's doing this thing right now. I can go on days. I got a lot of artists that help me out with this mixtape, so I'm excited for that. It comes out November 11th.
11. See?
Just like that.
How do you know which artists to work with, especially on every project?
I listen to the record. When I hear the record, I'll say, oh, I hear so and so on this record, and I'll try to reach out to them. And when I get in contact with them, I'll ask them to jump on the record. They'll either say yes or no. And that's how I do. I just listen. I guess when you're a DJ, you hear so many artists, you know which artist is going to fit on what record.
Yeah.
So that's how I pretty much played that whole thing out.
So you're DJing more than an actual artist on?
Yeah, it's more. It's kind of like Khaled or DJ Clue did their mixtape, where they did more, you know, putting songs together and stuff. But yeah, but all of that's good. We, you know, just working hard, and of course we here, you know, happy to be working with Dove. Yes. We did the mixtapes, we did all of that, and we got the mixtape coming. But right now it's all about Dove and the Go First campaign, and I'm so excited to be a part of.
How did you get a part of that?
They were looking for female DJs, and thank God I was one of them, you know, the few that they had picked, and they asked me to be a part of this campaign. They're promoting, you know, the Rebalance deodorant, body mist. They have a new scent, Plum, so make sure you guys will get that. But yeah, and I'm just happy to be a part of that. We just did the self-esteem weekend. We kicked that off, where we encourage young girls to, you know, to become better women, you know, and to become a great woman and do whatever whatever you set your goals out to be. Make sure you guys go to my website, DJDiamondKutz.com. And you can follow me on Twitter for updates on it, at DJ Diamond Kutz. So just like that, Diamond Kutz, DJDiamondKutz.com. My advice is for any girl or anybody, period, that wants to do anything within entertainment or just a certain job that you want to obtain, just stay focused, you know, really do your research on whatever job it is that you want, and go for it. You know, me becoming a DJ, I had to stay focused and really practice and study the music. I mean, spending hours at the record store going through records and playing records from old school to new school records. So that's really what it's all about, is just studying what it is that you want to do to really realize if you want to be in that position, and if it is something you want to do, go hard for it. Don't get up.
Stay humble. Correct.
Yes.
Because I know a lot of DJs that are not humble at all.
Yeah, but you know, those are the ones that didn't get anywhere. You know, you gotta stay humble. You know, if you're not humble, nobody's gonna want to work with you. They're like, I'm not working with this guy or this girl. She's crazy. Yeah. So you gotta stay humble. That's almost like the top of the list of, you know, things you gotta do to get that job you want.
All right. Well, I want to thank you very much.
Thank you
for doing this with WKJ. And hopefully I'll have you on here and spend it or whatever.
Let's do it.
You know. Hey, behind the scenes, MTV Campus Invasion 90.3 FM. I'm your host, Katrina. Thank you, Kelly, very much for setting this up.
Go Dove.
Go Dove. Dove.mtv.com for more information. DJ Diamond Kutz online.com. Twitter her, Facebook her, follow her, Google her if you don't know her. You know, go out and get the mixtapes. Go to thatpiff. Yep, thatpiff.com. So you know,
great. A lot of websites.
That's right. A lot of websites. A lot of blogs.
Yeah, put your memo pad on.
That's right. Hottest songs. Her next mixtape coming out November 11th of this year. Make sure you go cop that. Digital lives, whatever, go get the CD, you know, don't get the bootleg. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
No.
Don't play with bootleg.
Yeah. But her first single with Travis Porter, Freak, go cop that. DJ Diamond Kutz, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate it.
Wait a minute, I think I know that hoe from round the way, maybe I'm tripping. Heard she went to college and got a nigga in business. Now she can get the business cause we grown now, but she is.
Wait a minute, I think I know that hoe from round the way, maybe I'm tripping.